Another important thing that we see throughout Scripture, and which is often overlooked, it's been overlooked in mission strategies and that sort of thing, is how God uses children for His purposes. The agency of the child in mission and mission strategy. And sometimes it's a bit of a stretch maybe as we look at some of these passages, but I believe that there's legitimacy in reflecting on the child agency as we look at some of these stories. And just to name a few. For example, think how different the history of Israel would have been had Moses not had a very resourceful sister, Miriam. We don't know how old Miriam was, probably quite a young girl herself. But as Moses is lying there in the basket in the Nile River, who should come along but the Pharaoh's daughter herself? And she's admiring this little baby, and Miriam has the resourcefulness to come up to Pharaoh's daughter and say, "Isn't this a cute little boy?" "Yeah, he is cute, isn't he? Would you like me to get somebody to help you raise this little boy in the palace?" "What a great idea. Yeah, go do that, would you?" And so Miriam got Moses' own mother to be paid to raise Moses in the palace. We don't know. God might have used someone else, but He used a child. Now, again, maybe this is a stretch, but here's God using the resourcefulness of a little girl to change the course of history. We all know about Samuel, and we know the story of how God spoke directly to him. Not through Eli, not through his parents. God spoke directly to him. Eli had to recognize and tell him God speaking to him, but God was speaking directly to him. And we see in the first 3 chapters of Samuel that God continued to speak directly to Samuel. And of course, Samuel became a prophet who influenced all of Israel. Now, we don't know today if we're speaking about any young child what they might become, but God can use whomever He wants. And in this case, Samuel did become a famous prophet, and he did change the course of history. He was the one, of course, who anointed David as king, as a young boy, I might add. David was quite a young boy when he was anointed. But God used Samuel to change the course of history. David himself was only a lad when he was fighting Goliath. And not only the opponents, the Philistines, but his own people were saying, "You're just a boy. You know, what can you do?" So he was getting encouragement from nowhere, not even his own people. And Saul wanted to load him down, of course, with all the armor and that sort of thing. But here's a young man who once again changed the course of history. Battle lines were drawn, and he won that battle on behalf of the Israelites. So David changed the course of history.